cos 3 theta. How do you write? 4 cos cube theta. Speak out. Minus sin theta. 3 again cos theta. Okay, what is P naught? What is P naught of cos theta? What is P1 of cos theta? You have to learn this one, okay? I said any polynomial can be written in terms of Legendre polynomial. Similarly, any polynomial of cos theta should be written in terms of Legendre polynomial, okay? What is this one? Cos theta. So, what is P2 of cos theta? 1 by 2, 3 cos square theta minus 1. So, what is P3 of cos theta? 1 by 2, 5 cos cube theta so there are questions I think in large CSIR exam also. I mean, if you write your polynomial in terms of Legendre polynomial, you will get the answer, okay? Now look at here, not this question, potential question. So mathematics question. Anyway, we are going to practice that one later. Now, I need cos cube theta, I need cos theta. Once you solve it for cos cube theta, this cos theta will remain. You should not leave that one. You have to write this one as P1 of cos theta. What is 5 cos cube theta? 2 into P3 of cos theta plus 3 by 2 cos theta. Am I right? So now that's equal to, again, cos cube theta. Again, I need 4 cos cube theta. Am I right? So whatever, again. So yeah, cos cube theta, that's equal to 2 by 5 P3 of cos theta. Is that okay? 2 by 5 P3 of cos theta plus 3 by 2. What is cos theta? P1 of cos theta. That's it. That is cos cube of theta. Okay. So now what is cos theta again? 3 by, okay, 3 by 2, 1 more 5, 3 by 10. Am I right? So what is cos theta? P1 of cos theta. Now substitute these two here. Is that okay? What is cos 3 theta now? Is equal to 4 into cos cube theta. This whole thing is multiplied by 4. 8 by 5 P3. Let me write only P3, okay? Plus 4 into 3, 12. So 12 by 10. 6 by 5 P1. Is that okay? Minus 3 cos theta, minus 3 P1. Am I right? Minus 3 P1. So now I think if you take LCM, 8 by 5 P3, 9 by 5, minus 9 by 5, minus 9 by 5 P1. Is that okay? That's why cos 3 theta can be written as 8 by 5 P3 of cos theta minus 9 by 5 P1 of cos theta. You don't have to do any integration. You have to equate this one. Am I right? When you equate, you will get coefficient. Coefficients are the only thing that we need to find, isn't it? We already know what is the solution. What is that one? V r comma theta a power al r power l plus bl by r power l plus 1 pl of cos theta. Am I right? Depending on inside and outside, you have to choose them. Inside, you have to choose bl equal to 0. Outside, you have to choose al equal to 0. Isn't it? Is that okay? I don't know whether you have done the yesterday's problem or not. Let me briefly explain. Don't lag here because I'm moving little fast. Example number 3.9. Okay. So on the spherical surface, sigma naught of theta is given. You need to find potential inside and outside. Is that okay? For example, suppose sigma naught of theta is equal to k cos theta. We got that kind of surface charge density, am I right? So now sigma naught of theta, what is the potential inside and outside? How do you start? Again, potential inside. So from that formula, inside potential should not have BL, am I right? AL. Speak out. Isn't it? For R is less than or equal to R. Isn't it? So that is the solution, isn't it? He said it depends only on theta, then again azimuthal symmetry. Is that okay? If potential it depends only on R and theta, we already know the solution. So inside solution, you have to put BL equal to 0. Why? Inside region contains R equal to 0. If suppose this is the origin, then we have to avoid this part, because potential will not go to infinity inside region. Again, in the outside region, at infinity, again potential should be 0. Isn't it? This will not allow it to make potential 0 at infinity. That's why you have to avoid that one. Outside. R comma theta, that's equal to L equal to 0 to infinity. BL by R power L plus 1. PL of cos theta when R is greater or equal to R. Why I have written greater or equal to? Again, when R equal to capital R, these two have continuity. Potential should be always continuous. Only derivative of the potential will suffer discontinuity. Why? Derivative is related to electric field. Isn't it? So now, so this is the first relation. So second one is, again you have to take continuity here. So V in of R comma theta should be equal to V out of R comma theta. Isn't it? Outside potential when you put R equal to capital R. Inside potential when you put R equal to capital R. Is that okay? So those two should match. This will give one relation between AL and BL. What would happen? You can write that directly. This is equal to this one at R equal to capital R. Then, so this part should be equal to this part. AL R power L is equal to BL by R power L plus 1. BL is equal to AL into R power 2L plus 1. Okay. So this is the one condition which gives AL and BL. Now you can write everything in terms of AL or BL, isn't it? Any one of them needed to be found. You can write either in terms of AL or in terms of BL, isn't it? So now, so what shall I write? Shall I write everything in terms of BL? That's better. V in, let me write everything in terms of AL. L equal to 0 to infinity. AL R power L PL of cos theta. Is that okay? So again, V out will be, what is BL? AL into R power 2L plus 1. Summation over L equal to 0 to infinity. AL into R power 2L plus 1 whole divided by R power L plus 1 PL of cos theta. Yeah. Now look at here. Now what is the next thing what you can do? Earlier potential was mentioned on the surface. When you equate that one, you got AL, am I right? Now what is mentioned? Charge density is mentioned on the surface. Then what will you do? Derivative of the potential are related to charge density, am I right? What is that one? Dou V above by dou N minus dou V below by dou N is equal to minus sigma by epsilon naught. What is N? Perpendicular to the surface over which you have charge density. What is the perpendicular to this surface over which you have charge density? R cap. That's why this variable is R. So above, let me take it as out, above region. Above, again, here there is no above below, only for plane we had above below, am I right? So let me take outside and inside, okay? So this one outside, this one inside. So dou V outside by dou R, again you have to take this derivative on the surface, am I right? So do you remember our earlier boundary condition derivation? We made that epsilon tends to 0, isn't it? You have to take derivative. So at r equal to capital R minus dou v below by dou r when r equal to capital R, that's equal to minus sigma of theta epsilon naught. In this relation, you will get AL. In this relation, you will get AL. So again, so he will proceed here. Okay, he will proceed here. He will define that AL in terms of integral, but I am not interested to do that one because problems are very easy actually. You get my point? He will generalize this one. He will take these two. He will take derivative. He will substitute here. Then he will solve it for AL using orthogonality relation. That I used to do that one earlier. Am I right? I have defined general AL, but that's not needed because this can be written in terms of legendary polynomial. Most of the case. Otherwise, he will not give that question. Otherwise, that integral, last general integral, what he defines for AL, that would be also too lengthy. Is that okay? So that's why whatever the function he gives, again you can write that one in terms of legendary polynomial. So what I'm thinking here is, so let me take problem. Suppose sigma naught of theta is equal to k cos theta. What is this one? K into p1 of cos theta. Am I right? Now, anyway, I have to take this derivative. What is the derivative? AL r power L minus 1, L minus 1, L minus 1 r power L minus 1 PL of cos theta. Am I right? Derivative with respect to r equal to capital R minus dou v below. No, wait. This was let me take this one first so that I can cancel out negative sign here. I'll take this one first, then this one. I can cancel out negative sign. What is this one? Again, AL L minus 1 r power L minus 1. Do it yourself. Cos theta summation minus this derivative. What is this derivative? Minus L plus 1, minus of minus plus AL r power 2L plus 1 minus L plus 1 L plus 1. Any mistakes? Yeah. L plus 1 r power minus L plus 1 L plus 2. Am I right? R power L plus 2. There is one more negative sign taken here. PL of cos theta. So that's equal to, I have taken, I made it ulta. That's why I am going to take off that negative sign. What would happen? K cos theta by epsilon naught. Now I think you can rearrange this one. R power 2L plus 1, R power L plus 2. Yeah, R power L minus 1. That will get, so that you can take it common. Look at here. I think L plus 1, 2L plus 1 into AL into R power L minus 1 PL of cos theta, that's equal to K cos theta by epsilon naught. L is equal to 0 to infinity. Only A1 exists. Why? Cos theta is P1 of cos theta. Isn't it? Only A1 exists. So what is this one? A1, when you put 1, what would you get? 3 r power 0 PL of cos theta, that's equal to, I think you will get K by epsilon naught. Am I right? By equating. A1 is equal to K by 3 epsilon naught. All other AI are 0. I equal to 0, suppose 2, 3 and so on. Isn't it? Because right hand side you have only P1. Left hand side is a summation. L equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. Isn't it? Among them only A1 is non-zero. I have taken only coefficient of PL of P1 of cos theta. Is that okay? just equated coefficient of P1 of cos theta. If only A1 remains, and that A1 is equal to K by 3 epsilon naught, what is the potential inside? K by 3 epsilon naught R into cos theta P1 of cos theta. What is outside? L is equal to 1 K by 3 epsilon naught R power 2L plus 1 means R power 3 divided by R square. P1 of cos theta means cos theta. Check this out. Inside potential K by 3 epsilon naught R cos theta. Outside potential epsilon K R cube by 3 epsilon naught 1 by R square cos theta. That's correct. What happened? Yeah. Now, do you remember again? This was similar to other part of the potential, whatever we saw last example. In the last example, we had two terms. Do you remember? In the second term was this type actually. Just check it out. So, in place of sigma equal to K cos theta, what was K? Do you remember? What was K? Just check it out. So, in your earlier exam. Yeah, you have to practice this out, okay? Because lot of steps are involved, but you can do it quickly. Yeah. What was this K? Or yesterday's problem was a spherical conductor placed in external field. Yeah. E naught? No, I need only K. You have ultimately you have written sigma, am I right? We found sigma. In that, get me 3 epsilon naught. 3 epsilon naught E naught cos theta, am I right? 3 epsilon naught E naught cos theta. If K is equal to 3 epsilon naught E naught, so if K equal to 3 epsilon naught E naught, what is V out? 3 epsilon E naught R cube by R square cos theta. Is that a second part of the potential? Check it out. Last potential outside. We had, I think, minus ER cos theta, one part of the potential. So, second part was this one, isn't it? Because that second part was attributable to charge density, surface charge density. That surface charge density was K cos theta type, isn't it? Surface charge density, when you place that spherical conductor in external field, that was K cos theta type. Am I right? We proved after potential actually. We proved that one after potential. Here we have started with surface charge density. We went for potential. If suppose only the surface charge density exists, only this part of the potential exists. If there is no outside field, external field. Is that okay? So practice this one. Okay, this type of problem again comes in next chapter, so that you should feel very easy. Over. Let me get into next topic. Again, this whole chapter is a kind of mathematical method. Multiple expansion. Yeah, let us do one example here. Example number 3.10. Then we shall move on to actual multiple expansion. Now, so he has taken a physical electric dipole consists of equal and opposite charges, so separated by a distance d. So find the approximate potential at a far distance from the dipole. Let me just take those dipoles like this. Plus q minus q, they are separated by a distance d. Okay. Now let me take middle point. Let me choose this middle point as my origin, and let me take somewhere here I have field point, very far away. And let me just call this one as italic r plus. Okay, so let me call this one as italic r minus, and I better to define my theta here. This is not actual multiple expansion, this is approximate potential. Okay, one example how we do those approximation at all. Now potential at r, how do you write? Speak out. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by italic r plus minus q by italic r minus. Okay, so now ultimately you have to write that r plus and r minus in terms of d and theta. How do you write? How do you write it? So your italic r vector is actually from source to field, am I right? In this direction. Italic r vector is in this direction, am I right? Is that okay? So now you need to define some vector between these three, so that italic r vector that can be related to, let me define d by 2 vector here. Okay, this is d by 2 vector, the length is d by 2. Okay, so now d by 2 vector plus italic r plus vector is equal to r vector, and italic r plus vector, that's equal to r vector minus d by 2 vector. Just check it out, r vector minus d by 2 vector, that's italic r vector. D by 2 vector is vector from this point to this point, the center. This whole length is d, that's why I made it as d by 2 vector, whose magnitude is d by 2. Okay, so now what is magnitude now? Why I defined like this, any idea? Because this angle is defined, angle between d by 2 and r vector is defined. Is that okay? So now if you take dot product with itself, you will get again r square plus d by 2 the whole square minus 2 r d by 2 cos theta. Check it out, 2 r d by 2 cos theta. So similarly, that is italic r plus vector. Similarly, what is italic r minus vector? Any idea? How do you define? D by 2 how did you said? I mean italic r minus is here, am I right? This is here to here. Yeah, now let me define this one as d by 2. Now this is d by 2 and this angle is theta only. Are you getting my point? If you have one vector here, other vector here, what is the angle between them? Don't find like this. Is it okay? You have to extend this vector like this, then you have to find the angle. Be careful. Are you getting my point? This is not the angle. Okay, one vector like this, other vector like this, you have to extend this vector so that you have to make it like this. Then you have to find the angle. Is that okay? So now again, let me again define this one as d by 2 vector, r vector. What is the angle between d by 2 and r vector? Again theta. Is that okay? And this r minus, italic r minus is equal to r plus d by 2 vector. So that's why italic r minus is equal to root of r square plus d by 2 the whole square plus 2r d by 2 cos theta. Check it out. 2r d by 2 cos theta. Now can I write like this r? Okay, r plus square. Let me take r plus square. That's r square plus d by 2. Okay, ultimately I need 1 by reciprocal of them. Am I right? Ultimately I need reciprocal of them. Yeah, 1 by italic r plus. Let me take that one initially. So 1 by root of this one, am I right? 1 by root of this whole thing. What I do here is I am going to take r square common. I am going to take r square common. So r square under root, it will come r as outside. Okay. So 1 plus d square by 4r square, since r square is taken common, minus 2, again 2 got cancelled, d by r will be there because denominator r square will come, cos theta. Can you write this step? D square by 4r square. Similarly, 1 by italic r minus, that's equal to 1 by r root of 1 plus d by 4r square plus d by r cos theta. Now what we do here is, wait a second, d square by r square. We are going to, our region of interest is very large. He said find the potential at very large distance, am I right? Since r is very much greater than d, let me neglect d square by r square, can be neglected. Neglect only that one. If you neglect this one also, only one will remain, am I right? Don't do that one. Okay, so neglect this one. I mean, when you do that approximation, that functionality should be retained. Okay, so I keep on saying that one, remember. Okay, so now we are neglecting only this part, not this part. Okay, because this is highly negligible than this one, isn't it? Square of any small number is still small, like that idea. So now what would happen here is 1 by italic r plus, that's equal to 1 by r root of 1 minus d by r cos theta. Now apply your binomial theorem. Again, after applying binomial expansion, take only first two terms, because already we neglected this part, am I right? What is this one? 1 minus d by r cos theta raised to minus 1 by 2, 1 plus x whole power p, 1 plus p into x, first two terms in the binomial expansion. 1 by r, 1 minus d by r cos theta minus 1 by 2. Check it out. So similarly, 1 by italic r minus, that's equal to 1 by r, 1 minus 1 by 2 d by r cos theta. So when you subtract these two, 1 by italic r plus minus 1 by italic r minus, that's in the potential. Let's see the potential. Substitute and subtract them. Find the approximate potential for r very much greater than d. So V of r is equal to q by 4 pi epsilon naught. What would happen? So this one minus this one got cancelled. Again that got added, 1 by r d cos theta. We write it like this, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q d cos theta divided by r at very large distance. What would you observe? This formula, this approximated potential formula, that depends on distance from the origin. Where we have taken origin? Whether you are here, it doesn't matter. Am I right? So that may be, this charge may be nearer than this one, am I right? For that point, you can see that one. But this is an approximated potential at very large distance. Look at here. So again, we see the dipole together. Okay, what is this one? Q into D. What is it one? Dipole moment, am I right? That's how we defined. Again, we are going to define little later what is the dipole moment. Again, you better to write nearly equal to. Yeah, keep on writing nearly equal to. Just rewrite it. R square Yeah, r square should come. That's correct. Where we did mistake? Okay. D by r. Yeah, r square should come. That's correct. Yeah. That's also another fact. Look at here. This potential proportional to 1 by r square. Potential due to point charge falls like usually 1 by r. Am I right? Yeah. So this potential is like 1 by r square. Approximate potential. Okay. Not actual potential. Approximate potential. Yeah. So now what we write here is this is P. Am I right? This is the dipole moment. That's how we define. Again, little later I'm going to make it general. P cos theta divided by r square. Do you remember what is the direction of dipole moment? Negative to positive. Okay, not in the direction of electric field. Okay, dipole moment is in this direction. Okay, this is the dipole moment direction. So that's why if I take this one as Z cap, and if I take again, obviously if this is Z cap, this will be theta. Am I right? This angle is theta. This is your position vector. So then you can write this one as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught P vector dot Z cap divided by r square also. No. Dot product with its own direction. How do you write? Dot r cap. P vector is already in Z direction. If you say P vector in Z direction, Z cap direction, or if you orient your Z axis along the direction of dipole moment, then this will give the approximate potential at large distance. Later we write like this. Okay? Where P vector is equal to P into Z cap. Can I write like that? P into Z cap dot r cap. Z cap dot r cap is cos theta. Okay. Anyway, right now we shall take this one. Later I need to generalize it like this. Okay. Our approximate potential due to dipole, it will fall like 1 by r square. Now we call, if there is only one charge, we call it as monopole. Is that okay? We call it as monopole. So that monopole potential usually drops like 1 by r. Am I right? We have seen 1 by r from the distance. Is that okay? So now we shall see some more facts here. Wait a second. Now he has given idea. He has given idea. Look at here. If you have a monopole, its potential falls like, plus q charge, only one charge. Its potential falls like 1 by r. Am I right? If you have a dipole, so plus and minus, its potential falls like 1 by r square. We have seen here. If you have quadrupole, we are not going to define tripole. Okay, wait a second. Let me explain. So quadrupole. What is that quadrupole? So plus minus on the corners of the square. Is that okay? On the corners of the square. So now quadrupole. Quadrupole. DRUPOL. So their potential 1 by r cube, it varies like 1 by r cube. Okay. Then take octopole. What do you mean by octopole? Plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. Octopole. Write down. Octopole potential falls like 1 by r raised to 4. Octopole. Just generalization, idea. Because usually we can handle up to dipole. When it starts from quadrupole, it is little difficult. Okay, to work out the problems actually. Yeah, question. Yeah, I'll talk about that one. Okay, lot of geometrical factors which are involved. No, I would have got monopole term also, but monopole term is 0 here. You have a dipole. Wait a second, we shall see. Yeah, we shall see the consequence. Okay, lot of physics involved here. Yeah, 1 by r, 1 by r square, 1 by r cube, 1 by r raised to 4. Then what is electric field related to? They are asking this question. Okay, electric field 1 by r cube, isn't it? So electric field should be derivative of this one. Am I right? So electric field varies as, speak out, 1 by r raised to 4. Electric field varies as 1 by r raised to 5. They are designing question. Only thing you have to see which term is dominant. Okay, let me just explain that kind of question. If potential varies like this, electric field should vary like this, isn't it? Just check it out. Because potential, electric field is a derivative of the potential. Again, negative derivative. Okay, you don't have to take care. Yeah, speak out. Yeah, speak out. Minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. Correct? Yeah. There should be alternative. In any manner, whatever you see, there should be alternative. That's correct. Now, this was for specific problem, whatever we derived here, that was for very specific one. Very specific one means, how to say, two charges, plus and minus. Okay. Now, what I do here is, I'm going to take one charge distribution. Okay, volume charge distribution is the most general one, and I'm going to choose some origin somewhere here. Okay, and I'll take some point P, point of interest. Okay, point P here, r vector. So point P here. Is that okay? Now what I do here is, I'm going to define one small elemental volume here. So d tau prime. So at a position r prime vector. Can I do like that? So now this is my alpha. Angle between these two are alpha. Obviously that alpha is variable. Am I right? We are going to integrate with respect to all source charges. Now let me define from source to field point, italic r vector. So now my potential at r is equal to 1 by 4 phi epsilon naught integral rho of r prime d tau prime divided by italic r, isn't it? Now again I'll go to this triangle and I'm going to define. How do I define? Italic r vector as italic r vector as, speak out. Check it out. Is that okay? R vector minus r prime vector. So that's why r square is equal to r square plus r prime square minus 2r r prime, angle between r and r prime, cos alpha. Can I write like this? Now the next step here is, I'm going to take r square common. If I take r square common, so this step is similar to earlier one. Okay, we have taken denominator, then we have taken r common. This step is almost similar. 1 plus r prime by r the whole square minus 2r r prime cos alpha. Okay, minus 2r r prime cos alpha. Wait a second, speak out, r prime by r, because you have taken cos alpha. Now I better to stop it here. I better to work out some mathematics. We call something as generating function of Legendre polynomial. We haven't worked out that one. Okay, again, I wanted to spend some time on that one. Yeah. One plus 1 minus 2xt plus t square. Am I right? Raised to 1 by 2. You have to manipulate it and you have to expand. I too forgot that one. It is there in Marey-Bose, okay? So just check it out. This can be written as summation over L is equal to 0 to infinity t power L into PL of x. How do you prove that one? I think what you have to do here is you have to write it as 1 minus 2xt minus t square. You have to take it like this, okay? You have to minus half. Then you have to expand it as binomial expansion. Okay? Then I think you will end up with this one. So that's why we call this one as generating function. We shall work out some mathematical problem on this one, okay? Very frequent mathematical questions are asked on this one, this part, okay? This part, legendary polynomial and related to generating function. This we call this one as g of x comma t, generating function. Now what you should remember is this is equal to this one, that you should know, right now. I need that one here because otherwise it would be very lengthy. The binomial expansion, and after binomial expansion, again looking for that, legendary polynomial, that's too lengthy step. So I need that fact from the mathematics. So how we can do, any idea? Like this only, am I right? I hope so. Wait a second. In this one, 1 minus a t can be taken outside. Yeah, pick up. Wait a second. Yeah, t can be taken outside. If I take t outside, 2x minus t raised to 1 by 2. Am I right? Yeah, we shall try to expand this one, okay? What is this one? 1. What is the next part? Minus half into this one, 1 plus p into x. So t into 2xt minus t. So what is the next term? Yeah, 2x. Minus 1 by 8 or plus 1 by 8? P into p minus 1. Minus half into minus half minus 1. What is that mean? Plus 1 by 8? Plus 1 by 8? This whole square. T square, 2x minus t the whole square. Plus and so on. Am I right? When you do that one, what would get here is 1 minus, you got 2xt here. Here also you will get 2xt somewhere. No? xt, you will get xt. Somewhere some term should get cancelled. Yeah, we shall do this one. Wait a second. We shall do this one. Shall I rub it out? Okay. Now 1 plus half, what is this one? 2xt minus t square. Is it 2xt minus t square? Somewhere that t square should have got cancelled. That's what I'm expecting. Maybe next term? No. Minus t the whole square, okay. Then T square will get cancelled. How? You got one more T square. The T square should not get isolated. Wait a second. 1 by 8. What is this one? 2x T square. Yeah, wait a second. Wait one second. Plus 1 by 8 into T square into 4x square plus T square minus 4xt. Am I right? How to take common? Yeah, any idea? Quickly. Ultimately, it should turn out to be like this. That's what I'm expecting. 4x square plus T square minus 4xt. I think if I take, what is the second Legendre polynomial? Three x square minus 3 by 2. I think you need one more term. You need to go to higher term. Now 2xt minus 4xt, what would you get? Or if this will happen like this, what would happen? 1 plus xt minus t square minus 1 by 2 t square 1 by 8 t square or 4x square t square by 8 plus t raised to 4 by 8 minus 4x t cube by, speak out, 8. Okay, still I need next term. Okay, this was 3 by 8. This was 3 by 8. Why it is 3? Okay, that 1 by 2 minus 1. Yeah, that's 3 by 8. Again, this was 3 by 8. Again, I have to put 3 here, 3 here, 3 here. Am I right? 12 here. I think I need next term. I need next term to show that one. That's too lengthy. You have to take cube of that one. So now look at here. Can I write this one as t raised to 0, p0 of x first term. So t raised to 1, p1 of x. I have shown only first two terms. So again, somehow you have to manipulate the next term. The disturbing terms was t square and t raised to 4 for me. Next, you can take this, you have to take t cube common in the next term actually. Then you may able to balance. Is that okay? Or let me get you the derivation, okay, how we attain this one, okay. Again, pure binomial expansion only, but lengthy, because in our binomial expansion, whatever we have used, we had only one term. Here we have two terms, we have to keep on doing that one. So ultimately, can you just grab this expression for a time sake? Again, let me grab you how to derive it, okay, how to derive it out. G of x comma t, 1 minus 2xt plus t square, raised to minus 1 by 2, don't forget. L equal to 0 to infinity, t raised to L into PL of x. So now look at this expression, whatever I have written here. Do you remember? The expression that whatever we have written, italic R, or let me write V of R, 1 by 4 phi epsilon naught integral rho of R prime d tau prime divided by italic R. What was 1 by italic R? Under root of that one. 1 by R into 1 minus 2 R prime by R cos alpha minus plus R prime by R the whole square. Check it out. Raised to minus 1 by 2. It was there under root in the denominator. It was there under root in the denominator. Just check it out. Can I write italic R like this? Isn't it? It was in the denominator. I have taken into numerator because I want to see that one. Now, can I write directly? He has done, in the book, he has done binomial expansion. Then he has shown those individual terms are like that. So, now what I do here is I am going to write it directly. Summation over L is equal to 0 to infinity. What is T? The role played by T? R prime by R whole power L. Am I right? Into, yeah, for most of the problem you don't need this proof, okay? You can make use of this expression. You don't need the proof. If you remember, again, pure mathematics problem also, we shall practice later. So, what is this one? PL of X. PL of cos theta. PL of cos alpha here. If I substitute that one inside the potential, again it is getting lengthy. Shall I rub it out? Let me write it here. My total potential is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, that was volume integral. It is volume integral. Am I right? If I substitute that 1 by italic R integral of rho of R prime d tau prime multiplied with 1 by italic R is 1 by R summation over L equal to 0 to infinity R prime divided by R whole power L PL of cos alpha d tau prime. I have to write the d tau prime outside because otherwise we can't feel that integral. Am I right? Now look at here. What is variable here? Cos alpha is variable. Again, see the diagram. I just rubbed it out. See the diagram. What is that? Again, when you run throughout that region of charge, R prime vector is changing. If R prime vector is changing, the angle between R prime and R are changing. The cos alpha is variable, but R is constant. Field point from the origin. So that's why I can take that one outside. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. I can take summation also outside. I can take some integration of summation. Integral is a linear operator, isn't it? Integration of f plus g is equal to integral of f and integral of g. Am I right? You can add them. Similarly, you have a summation. You can take summation outside. Integration of summation of integration. You can write like this. Okay. Once you do that one, what would happen here is, summation over L is equal to 0 to infinity. Summation over L is equal to 0 to infinity. So 1 by R power L. Let me take 1 by R inside. Summation outside. 1 by R power L plus 1 would happen. Now that's also outside the integral. I'll take integral like this now. Rest of all inside the integral. Just think over it. Okay. So rho of R prime vector into R prime over L into PL of cos theta into d tau prime. Check it out. PL of cos alpha. PL of cos alpha. If I write this potential, what is first term? L is in the summation. L is equal to 0. L is equal to 0. L will start from 0. Am I right? 1 by R integral of R prime power 0, 0, P0 of cos theta 1, integral of rho of R prime d tau prime. You have to integrate throughout the region of charges. That's it. What is this one? What is this factor? Total charge. Is that okay? So shall I write next term? 1 by 4, we write actually only 2 term. Okay? Yeah. next term would be, again we can write that one, that would be a little lengthy to work out again, so problems. Okay, L is equal to 1. What is L is equal to 1? Then R square integral of rho of r prime into cos alpha d 2 prime. Okay, so now again third term is, what is the third term? Any idea? Let me write third term. 1 by 4 phi epsilon naught 1 by r cube integral of rho of r prime square. What is the second legendary polynomial? Yeah, question. Over. We call this one as potential contribution due to monopole. We call this one as potential contribution due to dipole. Let me just rewrite this one. Wait a second. Let me just rewrite. So we call this one as V mono. The whole potential V of R, I am going to write V mono plus V dipole plus V quadrupole plus and so on. Is that okay? If I grab monopole moment term V mono, is that okay? So 1 by 4 phi epsilon naught, what is this one? 1 by R integral of rho of R prime d 2 prime, or I can write it as 1 by 4 phi epsilon naught. Wait a second. What is this R? Distance from the origin. Be careful. So total charge. Total charge is Q V mono. R is not distance from the charge. R is the distance from the origin. Be careful. Now we call this total charge of the system as monopole moment. Monopole. Total charge is called as monopole moment. Name. Is that okay? And yeah, let us discuss lot of consequence. Okay, so that is again lot of question in GATE exam. Okay, very frequent question in GATE exam. You need to practice this one. Monopole moment, then dipole term. Let me write dipole moment. Monopole moment as a function of R, again like that. V dipole term. Yeah. 1 by 4 phi epsilon naught 1 by R square inside the integral. Wait a second. Again, I have to draw that coordinates actually. This was R, am I right? This was R prime, where we have taken a small volume d2 prime, isn't it? This was alpha, am I right? Now in the second term, look at here, you have R prime cos alpha. R prime cos alpha, I am going to write it as R prime vector. What is the cos alpha? Angle between R prime vector and R vector. I am going to dot product with R cap. Wait a second. That's correct. Is that okay? Can I write like this? So now that's why what I write here is again R prime cos alpha. We are going to write it as R prime vector dot product with R cap. Mod of R prime, mod of R cap into angle between them, cos of the angle between them. Okay. So along with that one, so when I substitute this one here, this factor here, what would happen? Any idea? That integral R prime vector into rho of R prime dot product with R cap d2 prime. Can you see this part? Can I write like this? Now throughout the integral, that r cap vector is constant. Can I take that one outside the integral? Can I take that one outside the integral? This dot r cap, I can take outside the integral. Now wait a second, let me write that step. Again, that's very important factor actually. Dipole term, that's equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 by r square. Wait a second. R prime dot r cap, what is that one? R prime cos alpha, d tau prime one side. What I do here is, what I write that expression as r cap dot integral of r prime vector, rho of r prime vector into d tau prime. Or if you are not feeling comfortable, you better write like this. R cap dot r vector, rho of r prime vector d tau prime. Is that okay? That d tau is scalar, rho is scalar, r prime is a vector. Is that okay? And integration. While doing that integration, look at here. You are taking dot product at each step, but this r cap is constant. You can just integrate this vector. You can just integrate this vector. Again, or if you are feeling any uncomfortable, take a summation convention, then generalize that one to integration. Are you getting my point? R cap plus, suppose r cap dot ai summation over I. Can I take like this? Then what would you do? R cap dot a1, r cap dot a2, r cap dot a3. I mean, so like that. R cap dot a1 plus r cap dot a2 and so on. Am I right? Okay, can I write as r cap dot a1 plus a2 plus a3? That idea. If you're feeling uncomfortable with how I have taken that r cap outside, take this idea. Summation is generalized to integration always. Is that okay? So now the very next step, we are going to define this one as dipole moment. 1 by r square r cap dot p vector. Okay, what is that p vector? Integral of, it's a vector integral. Be careful, okay? This is a vector integral. You have to take care over that one. R prime vector, rho of r prime d tau prime. What is rho of r prime d tau prime? dq. Am I right? That's a small elementary charge. It is located at r prime. Position vector of location of charge multiplied with charge integrated. Is that okay? Because in the very next step, we want to write our dipole moment for what you call point charges. Then what we write here is r prime, ri prime, qi. Ri prime, qi for a position, so for a point charges. So ri prime is the position vector from the origin of the qi charge, source charge. This is again first, usually it is written in terms of, so first definition we design using integral, then we generalize that one to what you call your point charges. So this is potential due to dipole, which will fall like 1 by r square. Yeah, we better take a break. Then I'll talk about this. Just whatever we have done, that's just mathematical steps. Okay. So now whatever I'm going to do, those are arguments. Yeah, quickly take a break. We shall continue. Yeah, any question?